Warren urges Biden to bypass Congress and cancel student debt. Kai, do you want to pull up that article if you already have it? So Biden's saying $10,000 is what I'm willing to pay. Maybe we'll go up to forgiving $50,000. But Elizabeth Warren is saying, let's just cancel all of student debt, meaning all $1.5 trillion of it. Forgive all of it is what she is saying. President-elect Biden also already committed to reintegrating Paris. Okay, so we know that part. Cancel billions of dollars of student loan debt. He can cancel billions of dollars of student loan debt, giving tens of millions of Americans an immediate financial boost and helping to close the racial wealth gap. This is the single most effective executive action available for massive economic stimulus. Biden-Harris can lower the drug. Okay, so go on that part. Do you have the stats? Because this is what Ben Shapiro said. Go to Ben Shapiro, which I totally agree with them. How about this? Instead of forgiving everybody's college debt, we force all of them. Kai, can you move, please? We force all the colleges who scam millions of Americans into degrees in useless theory masquerading as valuable life skills to grant refunds. That would end the grift right quick. I agree with them. Did you get that data I asked you for last night? Can you pull up that data? So, okay, here's what it looks like. 1987, 1988, a four-year college degree costs you $9,000. Okay,
this is all 2017 dollars.
This is 2017 dollars. Okay, so a nonprofit, a public, a private was $22,000, and then it went all the way up to today. The $9,000 today is $21,000. The $22,000 is $46,000, and that's just college tuition. And that number is very small, by the way, Kai. This is per year, not 4 years. Per year is what we're looking at. From $22,000 to $46,000. Colleges went from being a place you went to get a degree to now being a business model. Third, these numbers are averages, while the 2017-2018 median private nonprofit prices was $35,000. 10% of full-time students attend in institutions with prices below $12,000, and 13% attend institutions charging $51,000 or more. 13% are paying more than $200,000 for their 4-year of college. In terms of percentage, the price of public education has jumped 130%. The price of private education has jumped up 111%. Kai, can we look at one thing? Can we look at one thing? What does it look like? The other data I asked you yesterday was what? The endowment of universities. Do you have that? The endowment of universities. This is top 10 endowment. Make it a little bigger. Harvard's sitting on $41 billion. $41 billion worth they're sitting on right now of endowment, cash. Yale is sitting on $30 billion. Stanford's sitting on $28 billion, give or take. Princeton, $26 billion. MIT sitting on $17 billion. University of Pennsylvania sitting on 14.6, say $15 billion. Texas A&M's got $13 billion. Michigan's got $12.2 billion. Notre Dame's got $11.5 billion. Columbia University's got $11 billion. They're worried about making college more available to the average American. Why not go pressure universities to lower prices when they're sitting on so much cash themselves? What do you think about what Elizabeth Warren's saying?
You know what? The first question I have when I hear Elizabeth Warren saying that, from my perspective, is how can anybody take her serious, or how can you follow her? But man, I get it. I mean, if you have student debt and she comes out and say, let's just wipe it clean. I mean, I can see how that message appeals to younger people. It's unbelievable when you consider the cost. And then that's not even counting textbooks. Have you ever looked? I mean, they nickel and dime these kids left and right. Textbooks. It's a $10 billion industry. $10 billion is what kids spend. Wow. You know what a $10 billion industry is? Major League Baseball. That's a $10 billion industry. Gucci, that's $10 billion every single year. So it's staggering. And, you know, look at the salaries of the people that run those endowments. They're making $5, $6, $7 million a year.
That's insane. From 1978 till today, the price of textbook has increased 12%. Kai, what was the Dow Jones at? Go Dow Jones 1980. Go Dow Jones 1980. 1980. Is that what? 880, let's say 891. And today's at what? 29,000. 29,649. What is the number there? I'm curious because if it matches. Okay, why don't you do this? Go to median income 1980. Median income 1980. 1980. is at what? $21,336. And median income today?
Hasn't gone up much.
No, median, that's lower income class. Go to median income. So median income, go a little lower. Statistic, click on that to see what it shows. Okay, right there, right on the below. Go a little lower to the bottom. Go back, and go to the lower link right there.
This one?
Stanford, yeah. See what it shows us here. This is Stanford. They're fairly reasonable. 1980 income, median income, household. Where's it showing at 1980? Can you see it? Is that about 20? Yeah, say 20. So number's about right, $20,000. And where's it at today? 2020. Go median income. So 1980, it shows median income around $20,000. What is 2020 median income?
It's like 46. Is that what it was?
I think it's higher than that. Median income, national median income right now, 78,500. So 78,500. So income has increased, give it 200%, 250% from 1980 till today. Prices of books have increased 810%. How do you keep up with that? I mean, it's a business model right now if you're selling textbooks.
Yeah, totally. And I think it's a scam. I mean, what do you even need books for? I mean, my daughter's 14 years old. When she was going to school, everything's home now. I can't believe how heavy her backpack is. And this is for a freshman in high school. College, multiply that by 10. The bulk of the books, everything's digital now. I think it's a scam to keep, hard copy books where you're hammering the kids for $1,200. It's unbelievable.
Who protects that industry? Democrats or Republicans? Who protects that industry? By the way, go back to that last stat. Michigan University in minimum, go to right there. Let's play some numbers. 1987, can you highlight that so the viewer can see it? 1987, Michigan State University, the per credit hour rate was $49.25 per credit hour. Assuming a full year of 30 credits amounts to $1,477 in tuition. In 2017, the per credit hour is $482, 10 times more, with an estimated 30 annual credits of $14,460. So 1987 is what, 33 years ago? Is that about 33 years ago? 33 years ago, it's gone up 10x in 33 years. Yes. That's a lot of money right there. So who protects universities? Is it more Democrats, independents, or Republicans?
I would. My hunch would be it's Democrats. It's Democrats that protect them a little bit more because they're preaching the language. They're basically preparing kids to come out into the world to be Democrats. So I would imagine that if you had to pick one of them. But these universities and this whole college system, they protect themselves. I mean, they know. Look at the NCAA basketball tournament. Who gets rich off that? The kids don't. It's the universities that make so much money. Will Muschamp, who was the head coach for South Carolina, college sports, terrible. He got fired this year. They were like 2-5, right? Horrible head coach. Walks away with $15 million. I mean, it's just colleges in general. It's a house of cards, I think, on some levels. And especially when the world's changing because of coronavirus. And what are they going to do for tuition in the following years if you're making kids do this virtually? How can you charge? They do. They charge the same amount of tuition. These private schools, they're doing the exact same thing. But you're going to see some things here, man, because there's a tipping point at some point. Mm-hmm. And you can't. That's why this lockdown is so bad. Anybody that thinks a lockdown's good, it's going to slow down coronavirus, that's what they said last spring. And it didn't work. It didn't stop the curve. It didn't do anything. So that's why I don't believe this one will be effective, and it's just another way to give in to what they're trying to do to you, and with no end in sight.
What are your thoughts? Education.
Well, my oldest son, the doctor, would love to see this because when he graduated med school, he owed over $400,000. I'm a cop. My wife was a nurse. We didn't have the money to pay for his college education, not his
Is it true that for the first 10 years or so, the interest rates are pretty low? And are they kind of easy on these kids? Or are the payments starting big right out of the gate for them?
Well, you do get a waiver until you're gainfully employed. But, his monthly student loan payment is as high as his mortgage payment, if not higher. So I know he would love to see this waive, but the bottom line is who bears the brunt of that? Who absorbs that cost if we waive all that? The taxpayers,
of course.
And where does their money come from? Taxes, right? So the ultimate thing is the taxpayers end up paying for this. He understands when he took those loans, he had a responsibility to pay it back. He's okay with that. I mean, it doesn't like making that check every month, but he agreed to that. All the other students agreed to that. So why are we waiving that now? And another thing is if you go to just like you said, the sports programs, I love college football. I no longer watch professional sports, but I love college football, and I was scared to death we weren't going to have it this year. Well, it's such a big proponent of all, or a big part of all the colleges, the major colleges.
Model.
We're all watching it again on the weekends, aren't we? So, and then you look at the colleges. There's not a college that I can think of that you go to. And Javier and I were on the college circuit for quite a while, speaking to major universities and colleges around the country. Every college campus we went to had new construction ongoing. You can't build things if you don't have the money. And when you look at the numbers you just put up on the screen, holy cow! I had no idea it was that big.
What is Elizabeth Warren's plan after you wipe out all the debt? What about the next generations of kids that want to go to college? Are they then taking out loans that in 15 or 20 years you wipe all that out as well? I mean, it's quite a rallying cry to say, hey, let's just wipe out all student debt. $1 trillion. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Again, personal acceptance of responsibility. You made an agreement when you borrowed that money that you'd pay it back. Pay it back.
But it's too high. I mean, something has to happen here where it can be a little bit more affordable.
I guess,
agree.
Especially state universities.
I guess the thing becomes, is it more waive it and put the pressure on taxpayers, or put the pressure on universities, or put the pressure? There's only 3 candidates here you got to put the pressure on, right? 3 people here. One is the student who took on the debt, knowing, like you said, it's responsibility. You knew what you were taking on when you took that Sallie Mae or whoever the loan is with, right? Okay. Is it their responsibility? Is it the college's fault for charging too much? Or let the rest of the taxpayers take on that $1.5 trillion and say, look, we'll just pay the bill. Don't worry about it. Whose responsibility is it if you were to put it in order?
Definitely not the government, number one. I don't think. I would say you have to start with everybody knows what they're getting in for, right? When you go to college, you understand when you take those loans that's part of the
You
deal.
knew that.
Right. So I would say that would be number one. And then anything else I think would be gravy. Any way you can help these kids if they're looking at these staggering loans. But I don't think it'd be nice if the colleges could find a way to do it, but they won't.
Well, and when did colleges become a for-profit company?
Oh, that's been around for
It is,
some
but
time,
never to this level.
No doubt about it, of course, never to this level. But, you said you watch college football, but you don't watch, by the way, why don't you watch pros? You said you don't watch pros.
That's a whole nother topic.
Is it political?
Yeah, I guess it is. It's I don't agree with God bless these people. Anybody involved in professional sports, you have attained the level of expertise in a particular field that most of us can't attain, or we're not dedicated enough to attain that level. But the bottom line is, it's a game. It's a game. We can live without games in our lives. For you to stand up and make political statements out of your fame because you're a sports figure, I just don't agree with that.
So is it fair to say you have a painting of LeBron James in your house somewhere?
Probably not.
Probably not, yeah. Okay.